I've been in the bando with the chick. Well, Jimmy Choo Sando, cause I'm rich.
Boom. What's going on? What's going on, man? It's your boy Rich and Faith TV. We always working, we always grinding, and we back with another exclusive interview. This interview today might be a little different because we're gonna touch a few topics. Touch a religional topic, touch music topic, and I got a special guest in the building, Jerry Ben Israel. What's going on, my dog?
Peace and blessings.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How you feeling today?
Man, I'm blessed, man. You know what I'm saying? As long as the Lord wake me up, keep me going, brother, I'm blessed out here, you know what I'm saying?
I dig it. All right, so man, let's talk about your name. Jerry Ben Israel. That's a unique name, man. What inspired that name?
Okay, so quick little breakdown of the name. Of course, my name is Jerry. So the Ben means son of, and the Israel comes from the scriptural verse of Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 5. It says, you know, when you have that faith, you'll surname yourself by the name of Israel. So that surname being a last name, that will be Israel. So I name myself as Israel. So Jerry Ben Israel, you know, that's my name, brother. Jerry Ben Israel.
Now that's deep. Where are you from?
I was born in the Midwest, a little small city called Junction City. You know, my pops was in the military, but we moved to Augusta, Georgia. So I grew up in Augusta. You know, I call Augusta home, you know. So I'm from Augusta, brother.
That's what's up, man. You know what? It's funny that you said that. I spent some time in Augusta in my life. Yeah, I went to West Side High School. I went to high school in Augusta.
All right. West Side was the good side.
Yeah, they say West Side is the good side for sure. Yep, West Side.
Well, there was a lot of Caucasians out there.
Around my time, around like 2010 to 2014, it was black. But I was in the environment of the hilltop.
Yeah. You was up on. Yeah.
So you know that area that's their black side. But I guess when we go to school, we go to school.
If you was kicking it up on the hill though, you was definitely in the mix.
Yeah, but you know one thing I could say about, I was everywhere. Like I ain't just stay stationary on the hill. Like I had family through my stepfather on the hill, people I went to school with. I knew on the hill. I ain't gonna just say like I was just hanging out on the hill.
Right.
But I'd be in the mix from time to time.
Right.
Then we moved to the south side.
Yeah.
So I stayed over there by Georgetown.
Yeah.
Over there by, Glen Hills area. So a lot of my like friends was
that Golden Highway area.
Yeah. A lot of my friends went to like Glen Hills, and I just kind of went to school on the west side. So I stayed on the south side, but went to school on the west side. But one thing about going to a school like West Side is diverse. You know what I'm saying? So you meet all different kind of people, and they doing all different kind of things now. So I wouldn't change nothing about like where I went to high school, because it was a diverse and it was a comfortable. It was a good school.
Good learning environment.
Good learning environment. It wasn't like
I went to Laney.
Like you went to Laney, so you were you're a bottom. You went to
we was in the bottom.
Yeah,
we was in the bottom.
Laney,
I had the school security chasing me all through school.
Oh yeah. So I pretty much left all that behind me, because I'm originally from the south side, but I ain't gonna talk about my life story. But I originally left all that south side, Clayton County, all that. I left that in Riverdale, and when I moved to Augusta, I was on my good boy stuff. True. So I had changed my life when I went to Augusta.
True. That was up.
So I know what it's like growing up in Augusta, but what was it like growing up in Augusta for you at that time?
It was hard. It was rough. My pops, he fell out of the graces of the military, got on drugs, so we was moving around from spot to spot, from neighborhood to neighborhood. And I was always the new dude in the neighborhood. I used to fight every day. I used to steal a lot. Then when I got a little older, I started, robbing and selling drugs and stuff like that. So I was in and out of jail like my whole time there. Like I caught my first charge at 10 years old. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I caught a felony charge, breaking in somebody's house, taking stuff out of their house when I was like 10 years old. And I was, by the time I was 15, I was in prison. I was on paper from in and out of jail, and on paper from like 15 to like 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's just the typical Augusta environment. Once you get caught into that web, especially
it ain't nothing else going on, bro.
But trouble, you know what I'm saying. So I know, unless you play sports, a good basketball player, a good football player, then you'll probably be saved by that. But if you ain't had nothing else going on, that's what you be doing,
man.
So I've been there. I seen that. I know what that looked like.
Right.
But who was somebody that influenced you in the city of Augusta in a positive way?
In a positive way, man. That's hard right there, bro. I'm not gonna even lie. Cause like everybody that I used to interact with and come into contact with, they had their hand in some BS. You did what I'm saying? So that was a couple of times where, you know, I had jobs where, you know, even though I wasn't there for like 2-3 months, you know, 4 or 5 months here and there, you know, I was doing my best to plant my feet into something and learn something. You know, I was just that forceful where I was gonna try and learn something. I was gonna try and do something. But there was mostly, you know, people, you know, from like Evans and Columbia County and stuff like that. You know, they were mostly, you know, white families, you know, who kind of liked me in a certain way, you know, because I was always bold. I talk for myself, and I always look out for opportunities. I was trying to get people to teach me stuff, you know, so I always talked about stuff like that. And there were a couple of families, you know, that were trying, you know, help me out. You know, I was just trying to get some skills, you know. So I did this roofing. I had this roofing job. I might have stayed on that job for about 6 months. So, you know, I got kind of tight with that family, you know, so they was teaching me stuff, you know, roofing and stuff like that. They wanted to believe in me and try to help me along, but I was just too far gone in the street. So I couldn't really make the transition like I really needed to, but I definitely looked at that situation as a learning curve.
I did that. So how would you say the city of Augusta has evolved since you've been, you know, a little older and you probably been out of the city?
Man, I was down there last week. My pops, you know, he fell ill on health. You did what I'm saying, and so you know, he's in a wheelchair now. So I have to go down there and just, you know, go visit him. You know, take him around to do his errands and stuff like that. And I got dudes that was just out there with me when I was out there. You know, they still in the same spot. They still in the same trap. They still making the same moves. You did what I'm saying? So I gotta float through there. Yeah, I ain't trying to get caught up on nothing they own. You did what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm looking at the city like, you know, is a dead end.
Yeah. I think it's what you make it, man. You know what I mean? Because I seen my stepfather, you know, did a lot of time in jail in the city, and he came out with a plan, and he been running it up ever since he been out.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a blessing.
Just like you just gotta get into the right crowds. You gotta lead the people you grew up with behind you, and find the like-minded people out there in Augusta. Because one thing about people in Augusta, there's a lot of people in Augusta that got talent, ambitious, and just special people. You know what I'm saying? And it's just getting around those people. You know what I'm saying? And those people, they typically leave and go do other things, but it's that there. Like I know people put like a bad light on it, and then people that's in it, that's living in it, saying they tired of Augusta, they want to get out of Augusta, but Augusta ain't that bad. Especially once you get to a point where you making some money, you got affordable living. See, out here in Atlanta, we paying $2,000, $2,500. On rent. Right. You know what I'm saying? And some of us might still get paid as much as money as somebody in Augusta getting paid at their job, but they rent $1,100, $1,200. Right. You understand what I'm saying? So it's That's a true. Way that you can kind of stack your money and get up. I just seen it. Right. I just seen people come up like and still live there because it's affordable. Right. But you also got to know how to move in that city and know how to get your money in that city, then go travel the world, and then come back and it could use it as a saving situation.
It can be a springboard, like you did what I'm saying. But I'm telling you, like if you make one false move down there, bro, you cook.
You cook, yeah. You can't do that. You know, I mean, I had to get out of Augusta immediately though, but only because I grew up like here as a youngin. You know what I'm saying? So I was so used to this type of lifestyle.
Faster pace, a little bit more access to different situations,
things,
different hustles going on.
Yeah, exactly. So I couldn't like get so boxed in with either selling drugs or robbing or gunplay.
Right.
I had to be able to expand other things outside of that because
bro, come on, like you know as well as I know, bro. You know what I'm saying? Being up here in the city, bro, niggas ain't gonna be broke. You know what I mean? You gonna finagle over here, you gonna finesse this, you gonna bro, you job over here, you know what I'm saying? All kind of little side hustles, this and that, third.
It's not enough motion in the AUG, but I think it's because of the people.
Right.
Not the city.
Niggas don't support down there either.
Yeah, no,
they not gonna support you. I pull up, hey, listen, I'm like, man, I'm down there kicking with my pops. So I gotta be in the corner. I gotta, you know what I mean? I'm getting ready to go back, so I'm gonna get me some food, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm just gonna pull up on a couple people and let them listen to my music, you know what I'm saying? Try to kick some game to them. You dig what I'm saying? Niggas is like, man, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I listen to it, but I ain't gonna listen to it.
That's that Augusta shit though. But one thing about Augusta though, Augusta make you strong when it comes to
shit.
You feel me?
Boy, listen.
That's that Augusta shit for you.
Hey, I was like, man, listen, boy, Atlanta ain't bro, because I came up here to the A, bro. I was like, bro, it's sweet.
Yeah, it's sweet. But the thing about it, like, see, the AUG Augusta ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They not even gonna let you. They not gonna let you lie to yourself neither,
bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna have to really be that for a motherfucker to be like, yeah, he that.
Right.
They might not want to say it neither,
right?
But you'll know it. You know what I'm saying? So Augusta ain't gonna lie to you. It's gonna make you stronger, and that's one thing. Like outside, like looking back at it, like I could see where it made me stronger in my approach on how
I get that. Now I get that. Now I get that. They kind of made me. It made me tough. It made me a hustler, you know what I'm saying? Somebody, you know, that's pretty much unbreakable. Cause when I came up here homeless, bro. I was down there in the Bluff. You know what I'm saying? I was down at the Bluff. I stayed in that homeless shelter. You did what I'm saying when I came up here. I came up here with the clothes on my back. You know what I'm saying? I slept in them clothes for 5 days. You did what I'm saying? But I was already mentally tough. So, you know, I wasn't going to let, you know, that little small little situation send me back to the chain gang, bro. I was like, nah, I got to figure this out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I give it that.
Yeah.
You
Because
did.
when you come up out of Augusta and dealing with those type of people, you ain't got no choice but to be mentally tough. That's all around you through school, through the streets, through your bitch.
They ain't gonna support nothing. They ain't gonna support nothing you do.
They ain't sparing you neither. They ain't gonna spare you. So let's touch back on that because I know, like in Augusta, you know, a lot of people know a lot of hobbies out there. It's like playing ball. They love to play that basketball. And, you know, the music thing wasn't really like too jumping like that when I was around.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But sports was heavy. So what was some of your hobbies growing up?
I ain't really have many hobbies, though. I was like in the streets like all day, every day, you know. So I was, everything was crime. You did what I'm saying? Like hobbies. Now that was a time period, a small time period for maybe like 3 or 4 years when I used to go to the boys club a lot. Go to the boys club, shoot pool, you know, I used to love to shoot pool. My pops was a chess player. So I go to the boys club and try to play chess, you know. You know, I was real athletic, so working out, you know, hitting the weight bench and running, jogging, that type of stuff like that. I try to play basketball, try to play a little football, but I really used to love shooting pool. And, you know, I used to get a chance to do that at the boys club. So for a few years, you know, maybe from like 14 to 18, I stayed in the boys club a lot.
All right, that's dope. That's dope. So I hear you talk about your father a lot. Did you grow up with your mother and dad in the same household?
I was blessed. As a black man in this country, I didn't know how blessed I was until I went to prison. But my mom and dad were married for 40 some years. My mom, she passed away maybe like about 6, almost 7 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
You know, she was a blessed woman. You know, my dad, he had all his kids by the same woman.
Oh, yeah, that's
you know,
dope.
all us grew up in the same household. So, you know, as a black man in this country, I was definitely blessed. I've known my dad all my life.
So you pretty much come from good stock.
I do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm there to support my dad. You know what I'm saying? When, you know, he going through, he had a stroke, man. So he going through his deal. So I'm there, you know, every time he call me, whenever he need me, you did what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I feel that. So what are the pros and cons, you know, growing up with a 2-parent household pretty much your whole life?
Let's see. I'll tell you one thing. It set them standards real high. You know, you're not gonna accept certain things from women. When you got a mom that's loyal, that's about her family, and you've seen her stick with one man, and then you meet a woman and she on her third baby daddy, you're gonna look at her funny. You're like, well, because that's foreign to you. Mm-hmm. That's not what you grew up around, you know. And then you got sisters and you got cousins and aunties. You know, these women, and they got the same type of lifestyle. It's different, you know. So it make you expect more from women, you know. And then when your dad is always there, you know, it's like even if you're not doing great in life, even if you don't have, you know, all the trimmings, it's like we're family though. So when you see men and women just break up their homes, you know, it kind of makes you look at them in a negative light. So, you know, that shaped my mentality, you know, over the years. So that was, you know, it was good and bad. So it was a lot of, you know, good and bad in just having a 2-parent household. You did?
So when did you discover your passion for music? Because I know you said growing up you didn't have much, you know, you didn't have many hobbies. So when did the music thing start for you?
In prison.
In prison.
Yeah. You know, I used to spend so much time behind bars, you know, and so one day I was just behind bars. I tried it, you know, I had a friend of mine, he tried to get me into a talent show at the Boys Club. We was maybe like 15. And he took first place, I took second place. You did what I'm saying? So, you know, I was rapping that Bone Thugs and Harmony. It's the Thuggish Rugged Bone. Yeah, so I took second place with that Thuggish Rugged Bone at the Boys Club.
Okay.
But, you know, years later, maybe like 5 or 6 years later, I was in prison. You know, I had never written a rap. You know what I'm saying? So I was in the county fighting a charge. And I seen guys, they was like writing a rap. And I was like, well, let me try it. And so I ended up writing a rap, but the rap that I wrote was so much in tune to my personal feelings. It felt like I was just angry getting out stuff that I wanted to say to somebody, but I couldn't say. So I ended up, you know, I kept doing it over and over and over, and it became cathartic. It became something that became a healing process. So from that day on, I was just writing. So all those years throughout my 20s when I was behind bars, I was writing raps. You know, it helped me through my time. You know, I spent a lot of time down the road. I spent a lot of time in isolation in the box. I was like writing raps on raps, bro.
What is that like for your mental today when you look back at like times where you was like in a hole, you know what I'm saying, in prison, and now that you free, you're able to move around and speak your truth on certain platforms. Like, take me into that mentally. Like, what does that make you feel like in your head?
Basically, I was the type of person that felt like I was lost without a cause. I was a rebel without a cause. Always fighting. You know, I always had that fighting spirit though. So even though I used to fight a lot, even though I used to like get into it, because I remember one time, I believe it was like 2004 to 2005, like they used to kick me out of every prison I used to be in. I was always fighting, going off on the officers, going off on the wardens and stuff like that. And you got the head of a prison, like he don't want to be disrespected like that. You know what I'm saying? Me talking to them all crazy and stuff like that. And then I'm stealing from the inmates, breaking in their boxes and stuff like that, hitting people in the head with stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just doing all kind of wild stuff. So I was getting kicked out of prison. So I was in this mindset where I was just like a rebel without a cause. Like, I didn't really have any direction in life. You know, so I look back on that time like I was just a lost soul. I feel like I was a boy in that time. I was just a kid. You know what I'm saying? It no matter what I did in my mind, I was just a kid. You know what I'm saying? So I always look back like, you know, I was a kid and I was immature. You know, I look at myself in a way like I was just angry at society and didn't know why, but they were basically all my own problems, all my own fault, and I just needed a outlet. You dig?
Yeah. Now that's deep, man. Just the other day, I was watching the Moses documentary that they have on Netflix, and it was really interesting because I just needed to watch it to re-jog my memory about what actually took place. And those were the people of Israel,
right?
And he basically came to, you know, save them from the what do they call them, the pharaohs,
right?
The Egyptians. So how does, like, watching a story like that, how does that resonate with your life all the way?
All right, so now, you know, I watched it, and me knowing biblical precedents and understanding the biblical truths, you know, it was trash.
It was trash to you?
Yeah, it was definitely trash.
What was trash about it? Because it was good to me. I actually liked that. I learned a lot. I didn't realize that Moses was in the Bible and the Quran and another book as well.
Yeah.
So I didn't know that he played a part in all three religions. So it actually was like a learning point for me.
That part is true.
Yeah.
That part is all that is true.
Yeah.
But it, you know, is the depiction and characteristics of Moses. You know, there's a lot of half truths in there, you know, and plus, you know, anything like that come from Netflix, you know, there's white supremacy involved.
Yeah,
you know,
facts.
Those are the ones with the media dollars.
But they did show that he had a black wife, though.
He was black himself.
Yeah, okay, so that's the part. Okay, I dig that. So
all the Egyptians were black. All the Israelites were black. You did what I'm saying? Like, if you want to go into like breaking it down on like layman's terms and what we were bringing up to speed in the day without even talking about the Bible, you pull out a dollar bill, and on the back of a dollar bill you got two images. You got a pyramid and you got an eagle. All right. So we all know, you know, living here in America, that eagle is symbolic of American culture. And they tell you over and over and over that pyramid is symbolic of Egyptian culture. What's the common denominator in those two?
Shit, they both, you know, divide and conquer, and they both like to enslave God's people.
Yes. So that's the common denominator. So how could the Egyptians from that Netflix series look other than anybody else but the people who was on American soil that they keep showing you day in and day out on these slave movies?
Yeah.
So you gotta understand, you know. So, you know, it's cool for them to tell a story, but they also paint a narrative. It's propaganda.
So what's the difference between, you know, Israel people and just today's modern Christian people?
Basically, Christianity has a lot of paganism. Okay, so you can't find Easter and
Christmas.
No, Valentine's Day. Christmas is actually in the Bible.
But yeah, Christmas is real, but the Santa and the gifts. Well, I mean, how you feel about the gifts? Because I know that they brought gifts to Jesus.
It's all paganism, because that comes from a holiday what they call Saturnalia. But I want to say this. Christmas is actually in the Bible. You know, if you look at Jeremiah chapter 10, you're going to see Christmas. You know, so it's telling you that these people, they go into the forest and they cut down trees and they deck it with gold and silver. So now in the day's time, they don't use actual gold and silver. They use like gold and silver ornaments, but it's still the same thing. So it's there, but it's telling you that it's the workman's of is the work of someone's hands, and it's just vain. So you know they do that, and they brought that into modern civilization. But these are all pagan holidays. So Christianity is built on paganism, whereas being an Israelite, we have holy days, and those holy days, most of our people don't know anything about. You know, we keep the Sabbath from Friday night to Saturday night, 7 days on the 7th day, every single week. You know, then we have holidays like Passover. We got Passover coming up. We got Passover celebration coming up on the 23rd of this month. You know, so Passover, Feast of Unleavened Breads right after that. You know, 7 days we don't eat any bread with leaven in it. So it's just different than just Christianity. Christianity, you know, they all about tithing and just getting you to celebrate all these holidays and Sunday worship, which is unbiblical.
So how were you raised? Were you raised under Israel? Am I saying it right? Is
Israelite. Just say Israelite.
Yeah. Were you raised in the Israelite lifestyle, or was you raised in the Christian lifestyle and you just got this information as you grew up to know like which side did you want to go with?
Well, that's a good question, brother. So actually I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. My mom was a Jehovah's Witness. My dad was a Jehovah's Witness. So me not celebrating holidays, birthdays, Christmas, Easter, all those holidays itself, I did not celebrate those growing up. However, that wasn't the truth. That wasn't the true heritage which we have, because being an Israelite is actually our culture and our heritage. So there were some things that were misconstrued in there, because even being Jehovah's Witness, that's just like white supremacy too. If you take a look at their literature, they have what they call the awake and in the holy scriptures, and you know they have this literature, and you look at their booklets, and it's just a bunch of white people in there. You know, all the angels in heaven, they're white. You know, and they paint all these images. You know, we're not even supposed to have images of Christ in anything that's in heaven. If you look at Exodus chapter 20, it's gonna tell you, make no images or likeness or images or anything that's in heaven. If Jesus is in heaven and the Father is in heaven, we're not supposed to have any images of those. But Christianity, they make sure that they paint those images. They make their movies with those images. They're gonna put out that literature with those images. You dig what I'm saying?
I dig that. So, in other words, in Israelite, culture, you all look at Moses how Christians look at Jesus. Is that a fair assessment?
No, because we need both. Moses was the guy who brought us out of Egypt. He was our first savior. But Jesus is our eternal savior. You dig what I'm saying? We all need Jesus. So Moses was more so for the Israelite people, but Jesus is for everybody. It don't matter what denomination you are, what color you are, what age or race you are. We all need Jesus, because in the New Testament, that's the way that we get back to the Father. You know, everybody needs to get back to Jesus. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah, facts. So what made you choose, the religion of being an Israelite? What took place in your life? Because I know you said you started off being a Jehovah's Witness. You was raised a Jehovah's Witness. What shift happened for you to say, well, hey, I need to study this because this resonates more with me?
Okay, so I wasn't really in tune to Jehovah's Witness lifestyle even early on. I could see the images, but I'm reading the Bible myself. So I'm reading the Bible and I'm looking at the images and I'm looking at what they're doing. And in my mind, it's not even making sense. And then I did a lot of prison time, and I did a lot of studying when I was in prison. And so I had a lot of chance to dissect a lot of stuff that was actually in the Bible. It just didn't make any sense. So when I was here in Atlanta, just, I was kind of like just floating around, brother. I was just floating. I didn't have a church to go to. I wasn't a part of the Jehovah's Witness lifestyle. They call that the Kingdom Hall. That's where they go and worship at, the Kingdom Hall. So I wasn't a part of the Kingdom Hall. I didn't go to any church. Wasn't Baptist or Methodist. There were times that I tried actually going to a Baptist or Methodist church, just to worship. But I could tell that it was just lie after lie after lie. Mm-hmm. It wasn't for me. Mm-hmm. So one day I was just on YouTube, and
YouTube would do it.
YouTube would definitely do it.
YouTube will open up your eyes to a lot of stuff that you ain't know nothing about.
Man, it just be on your news feed. You don't even be looking for it.
Yeah, it just pop up.
I'm gonna tell you though, but that be the Most High giving us signs and clues as well.
Yeah,
I
can go with that.
Yeah, man, because he'll lead us and direct us even when we know we needed to be led and directed.
Yep.
You dig? So I saw some Israelite brothers, and I was this close to joining their camp. You did, but I can look at what they was teaching and see the breakdown of how we become Israel, because they're gonna always start you off with Deuteronomy chapter 28. They're gonna show you how this group of people, they went into slavery on ships, and they'll see it in a place where their homeland, they'll never see it again. I can see that because they show you so many slave movies. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I see the slave movies, and I see the people getting put on ships, and I see the yokes of iron on their neck. I see all the chains and stuff like that. That's what the Bible talking about. I see my people in that. So I connected with that. Yeah. You dig? So, so I understood that the Israelite culture was talking about me and my people, so I wanted to know more about it.
So having this conversation with you, it just kind of made me realize a lot of things, and I'm gonna go do my own research as well, but it sounded like it to me that the Christian thing was something that was pushed on us from our slave masters, but we came over here as Israelite, because like you said, when you come into contact with an Israelite, they take you to a chapter in the Bible when they talk about people being on boats, being slaves, and like you were saying, that kind of resonate with what happened with us African Americans. Mm-hmm. So is that like the truth behind like how the Christian thing got exposed to us African Americans? Because so basically you're saying that we really are all Israelites in a sense.
Mm. Yeah, well, but there's
like the Muslims though.
It all came from the Israelite culture.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they believe in Abraham.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Abraham was the father, but he had chosen sons. So his grandson, which would be Israel, which would have been Jacob, he became Israel, which would have been the father of Israel. Mm-hmm. So, but let me tell you this, because a lot of people don't understand that those Caucasians, they got the gospel in the Bible from us.
Okay.
See, we're people, we're such creators. Let me give you some history, brother. Even though we've been slaves on this American soil, we've created every genre of mainstream music in the last 100 years on this American soil. We started rock and roll, which they love. We gave it back. That's one of the things that's about the Bible. There was something that was ours that we had for eons, and we got tired of it, and we gave it away. And so they picked that up, just like rock and roll. We created jazz, we created country music, we created R&B, we created rap music, all right here in America on this soil. You know why? Because we are creators. We're made in the image of our Father, the great creator. We're creators as well. So we create things, and sometimes, we just give them away. They take stuff that we create all the time. You look at the media and you see all kind of inventions that we make and we create, and they go and make money off of it.
Nah, that you right on. You right on with that, and that makes a lot of sense. So, with your music, how are you, putting these type of messages in your music to resonate to people that's listening to it?
It's tough, man. I'll tell you that. With the climate today and with everything people are talking about, some of the stuff that I'm talking about can get just jumbled in the mix. I do my best, to weave in different Bible scriptures and different lessons from the Bible, but it's tough, brother, because a lot of times, if it's not fly, if it's not flashy, if it's not just cool, if everybody ain't talking about it, like our people don't really want to listen to it. A lot of times in these days, our people don't want to think too hard. You know what I'm saying? And it requires a lot of thinking in order to put the pieces together, in order to understand, first of all, that we are Israel, and to understand what it is that the Most High want from us. He entrusted so much to us. That's why we struggle so hard in this land. That's why we struggle so hard in this place. And, we getting locked up. We getting shot down. We got these broken homes, these broken families. You know what I'm saying? Men ain't seeing their children. They got to fight through the court system, and the court system is taking a fee just for them to pay money, just to see their kids and be a part of their kids. They got to pay a lawyer. I got a friend of mine right now going through that type of situation. I've been through situations like that. You know what I'm saying? You gotta legitimate your own children on this soil. You know what I'm saying? You got the mass majority of the prison population that's black men. All that comes because of the Bible being our history, the Bible being what it is that God gave us, our law and our history, our stories. We don't even understand that correlates to us. We think that's the white man book, that the white man wrote it. We gave that to them. You know what I'm saying? If you look at the book of Romans, in the first book of Romans, chapter 1, you're going to understand that Paul, who was an Israelite, he went to the Romans. He was in Rome for 2 years. He said he taught everybody that came to him. The Romans, we look at them as, Caucasians. Rome has been in power, ever since, the 9th, 10th century.
Yeah, BC days, right?
9th and 10th century. They had a dynasty back in the day,
yeah.
But then they had what they call the Dark Ages. See, people think the Dark Ages was, they don't really know what
was that before Christ? The Dark Ages?
No, the Dark Ages was actually like between 2000 and 1,000 years ago. Well, more like 1,200 years ago. Really? So those Caucasians, they've been in power for maybe like the last 1,200 years.
Really?
Before that time, they had what they call the Dark Ages. It was 1,000 years of Dark Ages. They call it the Dark Ages because black people ruled.
Yeah.
Those castles that you saw, you can go and Google the castles in Spain and England and stuff like that. Black people built those. We were ruling in Europe in those times. You know what I'm saying? So they called it the Dark Ages. There were times when they had like bubonic plague. They had all these different plagues and stuff like that because they were unsanitary. We had to teach them. They call them Moors. We've been called so many different things over the years. But if you look at Psalms 83, go back and look at Psalms 83. It's going to tell you that all these nations of people, they conspired against the people of Israel so we can be a forgotten people. We've been called everything under the sun, but we still the same people. We're still God's chosen people. You dig what I'm saying? So it's a lot of work into getting people to understand who we are, and especially in a 2 or 3 minute song, brother. That's a lot of work, man.
That's a lot. That's like, and you have to really come up with some clever punchlines to really sneak that in. But it's a lot of people out here that's looking for that type of music. You know what I'm saying? When you became an Israelite, would you say that kind of like it delivered you from that mindset of feeling like you was angry against the world and you wanted to cause harm to other people? Did it kind of heal you from being hurt?
Not at first. Not at first. That was a very slow process. You know, I went from a person that was just, I had this rage, you know, being enraged to just being angry. That itself, those are levels. Rage to just like being angry. Somebody can say the slightest little bit of thing to me, and I wouldn't even say anything. I just been fired off on somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I went from that to just, you know, being, you know, ticked off, and then over, you know, a few sentences, you know, to the point of, you know, so it was a very slow process for me. And I've been an Israelite for maybe like 7, almost 8 years. So even up to the last few years, you know, I was having issues, you know what I'm saying? Not to the point of just always being in situations, but, you know, I'll just keep it real with you. I was on bond for 5 years. You know, I got off last year. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, so to my progress, you know, I wasn't going back and forth to jail. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like that. I was out on bond for 5 years, but I had a situation 5 years ago that caused me to go to, you know what I'm saying, go do 5 months in Clayton County. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't been far removed from the streets. I wasn't stealing, robbing, you know, but that type of anger, that type of rage, that type of hostility that lives within a man, it is, you know, it doesn't just go away. It takes time, you know. Time heals all wounds, as they say. You dig what I'm saying?
What was causing you to be so angry? When I listened to you, you know, you had both mother and father in the household. You had siblings with you. A lot of people that's really angry like that, they don't have that. You know what I'm saying? They come from broken homes. With you being blessed and having a home put together, where was this anger coming from? Was it just like a mental thing? Was it something that you was kind of choosing to be as a young man? Yeah, well, like, where did it come from?
So, although I had both parents in the home was dysfunctional. You know, with my pops being on drugs like that, you know, so there were times, because, you know, you think about it, you know, you got somebody that's on drugs like that, you know, you're gonna see a lot. You're gonna experience a lot. So there were things that I experienced at a young age that as I got older, you know, I didn't feel like I should have had the experience. You know, I got into crime, you know, dealing with my pops. You dig what I'm saying? You know, I come from a family, bro, man. Me and my dad, good God Almighty, bro. We've done crimes together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We've gotten high together. Yeah, we've had sex with the same women. Yeah. Like I come from a different type of environment. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's basically what it all boiled down to. Not really feeling like I should have had to go through that, and then just being fast tracked on so much different stuff in life. You know what I'm saying?
So what are those conversations like with your father now? You know, when you look back at some of the things y'all done together, like, how do you keep that same amount of respect for him as just being your father in a sense?
We fought a lot. Me and my dad has actually had fist fights. I put a gun on that man when I had to be about 15 years old over some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I come from a different environment, bro. So, you know, but we was able to get past that even in my teenage years. You know, we talking about, you know, 15, 16, 17. So by the time I got maybe like 19, you know, everything, every beef and issue I had with the man, I kind of hadn't dealt with already. Like we dealt with those things. So, so we don't have no issues, in these days. That was so long ago. Like we don't have any issues. So we don't even have, those conversations ain't real conversations anymore. Like we don't even talk about that type of stuff because so much time has transpired and we've done so many different things.
Yeah. So right now it's just kind of like, swept over under the rug.
Well, I swept under the rug. They ain't even conversations anymore.
Yeah, I feel that. I respect that. So last year I seen you drop 2 albums. You dropped let me see. You had dropped Pages Out the Bible and Kingdom. What
that Kingdom Vibes.
The Kingdom Vibes.
Yeah, man.
What inspired those albums, man?
Well, just going through life, you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to be in a righteous environment. I wanted to have that righteous mindset, but I had struggled so hard because of my past, and all the things that I was doing. Like I was just wild. I was still wilding, and then with me coming up here and then finding my footing, I had started this business called Neat and Clean Floors. So I was, I was getting contracts and I was making money. I never really been able to make any money because I used to always be behind bars. And then when I came up here, I was homeless, I was broke, and then the Lord blessed me to, to be able to get my feet under me. So I made some things happen. And it's just like that situation, I was just like a kid in the candy store. So I was just doing whatever it is that I wanted to do. So I wanted to have a righteous mindset, but I didn't quite have a righteous mindset. So the Lord had to, tap on my door. You dig what I'm saying? And that came in the form of that jail time. I did 5 months. And so I'm like, oh my goodness. And within that, I had a couple of different situations, man. So it was just like, I need to figure this out. In some way, he just spoke to me and said, remember those times when you were behind bars and how I helped you. You know what I'm saying? And it was through the music. I never thought I'd be doing music because I put that to the side because by the time I got out of prison, I got past all that. I felt like I was too old. You know what I'm saying? I felt like I was too old to pursue music. I didn't even know how to take care of myself in a legal manner. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'll just push that to the side. But it helped me out so much emotionally. And I needed help. You know what I'm saying? So I was pushed in that direction by the Most High. He wanted me to, to get all that frustration and anger out because I was still going through stuff mentally and emotionally where I was probably about to crash out. I have been losing all my people. My sister got killed. My mom, she died. I got 2 brothers in prison for murder. Like, so my children got taken from me. So I was in I was in a bad place and I was probably about to crash out. And so he was just like, speaking to me, and I just listened and I just started writing and it became cathartic again. It started helping me through my emotional trauma and my emotional mess, so that's when Kingdom Vibes was actually born out of all that emotional trauma that I was going through at the time.
No, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. So what could we expect out of you this year?
Man, listen. So, I've been working on, doing the basics as an artist because this is new to me. So, being an artist, it wasn't something I thought I'd be doing. So I was like, well, what do I do? Not having direction, not having any form of training. So I said, well, I'm just going to keep writing. So I got a new project coming out. It's going to be called Spiritual Healing. Then I'm working my way in the underground sector, mixing and mingling. I got a couple people that I've met, that, got studios and do videography and, they managing artists and stuff like that. So I'm networking, I'm out here, in the building. I'm keeping the Sabbath. I'm keeping these commandments. So just look forward to me just making more music. I'm going to be hitting the stage. Unfortunately, I haven't done any shows yet, but the crazy thing about it is how the Most High be working and blessing, because I haven't done any shows, but that Kingdom Vibes project is done like 130,000 streams on Spotify. So Spotify, me being a businessman and me learning how business work, Spotify, I was able to connect with Spotify on that type of time and just, get this going. So I'm going to make more videos. I got videos coming out. I'm doing new projects, man. I'm gonna be hitting the stage. That's my most important thing that I want to be doing right now, hitting that stage and connecting with people. So look forward to that within the next year, man. Connecting with any and everybody. If you want to work, let's work. Especially if you got a message, you trying to do something positive, let's do it, man. I'm out here. I'm with it.
That's real. That's real. So, what kind of positive message you could leave us with here today for the people that's watching this?
Listen, we all need Christ. We all need the Father in our life. We all need people that support us. Cause I've learned without a healthy support system, men, women, children, no matter who you are, you're gonna die out here. You're gonna crumble from the inside. Make sure you treat your people right though, because no one is going to keep supporting you when you just a snake in the grass. So make sure that you are decent, upstanding with the people. Support the people who support you, and always show love. Showing love is akin to having a decent and healthy life. Get Christ in your life and show love to your people, man. Don't look at your people as no strangers. Don't look at your people as evil, as they always trying to get over on you. Love your people, man, because we all we got.
That's real. That's real. That's real, man. So, man, I thank you for taking the time out to do this interview with us, man. Newest Rich member. And, man, we appreciate you, my brother.
Rich in faith, bro. Jared Ben Israel. Peace and blessings.
We out.